Rise and shine. Last time I have to get up this time in the morning for an early morning track session. I'm going to maintain that over the course of the year, but not every single week. Obviously, I need to get up early for certain race starts as well, but so I need to be able to do it. But yeah, slept well last night and get on with a good track session today. Last one before the national champs on Thursday. Absolutely horrible weather and the pitch black when I set off, but about halfway all clears up and the sun rises. First time I can remember driving to Derby where I saw the sun for part of the drive here. Might actually end up being a half decent day. Good session that, 5 by 2 kilometers. First 2 I did from flying, so built up some height on the track, dropped in, did my 8 laps, and then the next 3 I did from a slow rolling start, with Anne taking splits, so that was really good. The reason I moved to the slow rolling starts is, I need to work on the start a bit more, but then also I felt like the Bixie's front disc wheel was rubbing because the shape of the wheel, it bows out quite a lot, and the top of the fork goes straight before it bows out. It goes out towards the dropouts part where they intersect, where it's pretty tight. And I was thinking the flex of the fork, it must be rubbing up against it, but I think it was actually just the sound of the tyre was different when you're on the Côte d'Azur compared to the actual track. So I was confusing that with it actually rubbing, because it occasionally made a strange noise going around the bend. So I think what I'd do is, from a standing start, I'm okay for that first straight, but then through bend 1, bend 2, so the first big bend of the track, just do that seated, maybe get out the saddle in the back straight, and then get back into the extensions. But I think I'll compare the splits. I did do my last effort, I changed out to my normal wheel just to see how much slower it is. I do feel a bit more confident on that wheel, like just that last effort. I just feel like my line is smooth around the track, but if the disc is faster, then, and I don't think it's rubbing and the frame's flexing and rubbing on it, then I'll go with that. It's also got a much nicer, faster tyre on it. I've got a the old road Corsa G plus 2+2 TLR Corsa speed, with a TPU inner tube, compared to Bixie's got a 23mm Corsa pista speed tubular tyre, which is, it's a much nicer, faster rolling tyre, proper track tyre. But yeah, I'll compare the two, and then decide. Bring both wheels with me to Manchester. I have one in mind, which I'm going to stick with. Good last session that. I'll continue coming down to Derby to stay in touch with the track for definitely the first part of the year. British Champs is going to be just a really good learning opportunity this year, and then really heavily target it next year to try and do something special.
What is that? Haven't seen this guy for like 6 weeks. Big burning ball of fire in the sky.
90-minute zone 2 on the turbo after a decent track session yesterday. Then a bit of an openers ride tomorrow, just probably an hour with a couple of sprints, some maximal fatigue test maybe. Prepare for Thursday. Chill out for the rest of the day. Sun's out for once, so take the dogs for a nice walk, do some stretching and the like, and yeah. I don't think it's looking good. I checked the forecast and it's meant to be like snowing tonight into tomorrow morning. So like heavily over the Peak District. It's going to be the same 1 degree for Sheffield, so it'll be in the negatives in the Peak District most likely. So yeah, basically means a lot of snow, dodgy getting over the Pennines, but definitely not in my little Skoda. So yeah, have a think about that. What the best course of action is. Potentially go tonight, get a hotel or something in Manchester. But my parents have tickets as well, so and they're flying on the 20th as well, so they need to be in Manchester. So yeah, bit like, oh, come on, makes it complicated, but yeah, figure something out, and hopefully I'll be able to get there. Just a little openers ride, good to clear my head as well. So I've booked a cheap hotel in Manchester. So I'll head across 4 or 5 o'clock. Beat the snow tonight. I mean, I feel like the snow this evening should be okay because it's maybe a little bit warmer. But I'm more cautious of the snow overnight when the temperature is going to drop. Prepare everything, get a bunch of food stocked up, make sure I've got everything, then head over there this afternoon. Chaos getting there tomorrow. Like, either the Snake Pass is fucked. Well, the Snake Pass would probably be fucked. Woodhead would probably be fucked. You're not getting through, not getting up Winnets. So there's like the three main routes across the Peak Districts, and then it'd be like, would you go M1, M62? They'd be like, such a palaver. So yeah, not just got the hotel booked. So I'm feeling good after opener's ride. Like I said, that cleared my head. Did like some maximum fatigue test. So 3 minutes of 400 watts felt nice and easy, nice and under control. Then just some seated sprints. So yeah, eat some food, prep some food, get all my stuff ready, and then head over to Manny. Getting rid of the saddle mount once again. Just snip off the zip ties. 4:10, just spent all afternoon getting my stuff together, and then heading on across to Manchester now to hopefully it just doesn't really sleet and snow too badly, but if it does, then I've made my way across to Manchester and close enough to the cycling arena before that's happened, and just putting myself in best possible position for tomorrow. Get on with that now. Got everything in tow. Rammed the car, got plenty of food, etc. Hour and 50 minutes through the rush hour traffic, but we're here now, so yeah. No sign of snow yet, but you know, I had to make a call, and yeah, we're here now. Nice and warm room, so yeah, just chill out, eat my dinner, read my book, go to bed, get a good night's sleep. Hopefully the roads are drivable in the morning. Good morning. It is race day. Actually slept alright. Woke up about 4:30. Need to go for a wee. But then I was able to get back to sleep. At 9 o'clock now. Need to clear out of here by 10. And that's when the velodrome opens as well. So yeah, just ease into it. And yeah, see how it goes today. Right, we're here. Seems to be a bunch of people waiting outside for them to open up. 1 minute to 9. Space might be limited, so I'll just queue up with the rest of them and head in now. Migrated everything into track centre and found myself a nice quiet spot, so did almost leave my number at a sign on, but yeah. 10:45, actually get my breakfast down me now. 12:05, just getting last bits ready, get on the rollers, then warm up on track from 12:30, get my bike checked for UCI geometry, then track warm up ends at 1:20, first rider off at 1:30. We don't know the start order yet, just wait to sign on when sign on closes. Yeah. Neil from Derby Track League was the one doing bike checks, so end up being the first person to get checked today. Jumped the queue, but I mean, I went and talked to the guy, and he said, "Oh, you can be the guinea pig." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
Maybe he doesn't want to be distracted.
He'll be in the zone.
How's he doing? Is he ahead?
Yeah, he's ahead.
It's not that you maybe have a problem with the
God, it's well up, isn't it?
Looks like the connection's very much on terms here with 3 minutes to go.
Come on!
First goal of the season done and dusted. Just as hard as the first time, paced it better. Yeah, got out hard. Well, had to sit down for the first bend because of the front disc wheel rubbing. So yeah, see you'd get up to speed, get in the extensions, push on for that first lap to get up to speed, then try and settle into a rhythm. And yeah, didn't fade nearly as badly as last time. Really good. So yeah, I was in like the high 15s, but then drifted into the 16s, but not Got too terribly. So yeah, really happy. The blunt too hard cough has come through, obviously. Trackman's cough. Usual. So yeah, good bit on the rollers. Thanks to Jack for the help. Mum, dad, my brother. They're here as well. And just like that, we're done. 16th out of 23 riders, 4:25, so 7 seconds quicker than my initial IP effort that I did to qualify for the event. And yeah, really good place to build from. Going to keep in touch with the track over the next year, use it. Now that I'm familiar with the track, use it for aero testing to help improve my just general TT results over the course of 2026. But then, yeah, have a real good go at track champs next year. And now I'm familiar with what the environment's like. And yeah, really looking forward to that. So head home now, try and beat the traffic off 20 to 4. But yeah, good stuff. And cough, of course. Wowza. That's why I was scared to come this morning, because I wasn't sure how bad this was going to be. Apparently Snake was fine, but... And we're home. Thinking about what I might want to do. I might be a fucking psychopath, but I think I might do a 5-minute test, as though like a bit of a simulation for if you made it to finals, what that second effort's like, but also take the 4 eyes power meter off the Cervelo, put it on my TCR that's on the turbo. It's not going to be an IP simulation, it's going to be on the road bike, look, different cleats, bolt upright, the 4 eyes crank on the Tiagras that I've got on the TCR, so then I can record the 4 eyes, compare it to the kicker, and get a better idea of my left-right balance, like left-right balance at the moment, like how my leg is, versus just like what the typical offset is. But yeah, just get some comparison for dual-sided the day of the event, and yeah, a bit of a simulation for when I have to make the finals next year and have to go 2 rounds in one day. Unpack the car, shower, maybe have something to eat, take some bicarb probably, and then get on the turbo for another max effort. I thought I'd be able to use Strava to dual record the activity, but alas, can't do that. Can't use the 4 eyes on this bike. I installed the crank, and I remember doing this before. It clips the battery holder, so yeah, it actually brushes up against it rather than it being just really tight tolerance. So not doing that. So I put my single-sided Asioma on the bike, and then trying to connect. Dual record the activity on Strava, that's not working, so haven't got any apps that can connect to it. Don't have like my usual Zwift installed on anything at the moment. What I've done is I've connected it to my head unit. When you connect it second, it takes priority. So I'm in erg mode, so I'm connected to the kicker and the Asioma. So I'm in erg mode at the moment, and you can check it's connected because if I just pedal with my right foot, see how the power drops? If I just pedal with my left foot, a bit harder, power goes up. So yeah, I'm essentially dual recording. I just don't get the data from the kicker, but if I know what I'm looking for, so use erg mode, then I essentially have 2 data sets So I'm going to do 5 minute effort in 500 watts in erg mode, and see how that goes. So it might be a maximal effort where I don't manage the 5 minutes, or it might be that I get to the end of the 5 minutes having managed it, but it'll give me some really useful data, because hopefully that's around the sort of power that I was doing for the IP, probably 450 from single-sided power meter, and doing it in the past. 4eyes maybe reads a bit lower, I think, than the Asioma, but they're pretty consistent. They just read lower than the Kicker, and that's because I've got the weaker left leg. So yeah, do a bit of a warm-up now, and then 5 minute effort. Well, however long I can manage at 500 watts, but probably cap it at 5 minutes. Don't think I need to be doing much more than that. Yeah, feeling good. Not too much of a horrible, nasty, throaty cough. So, see what it's like to do 2 efforts back to back. It's 7:30 now, so the guys would have done the finals already, but I needed time to get ready to have a go at this. So, yeah, spin the legs out a bit and then get on with it. There we go, managed my 5 minutes of 500 watts. A bit more like a track effort than I thought, because you're fighting the spiral of doom, and I found myself at like 102 RPM by midway, which is like my cadence for the IP, and you're just like fighting the gear to keep going at that same speed. But yeah, 5 minutes 500, and from single-sided it was like 440, which is, yeah, I've worked hard to try and bring my left-right balance into alignment. Always an issue with the nerve, and keep on top of my nerve glide. Done hundreds of rehab routines. I've got my go-to rehab routine that I do consistently every other day and have done for, what, year and a half maybe? So yeah, that's a bit like, wow, it's just not making a difference. So if I could sort that, like, my power would just be so much better. 500 watts erg, I'm doing 50 more watts from my right leg, because it's 225 times 2, 450, plus 275, 500. So if I had an extra 50 watts from the left leg, like my 500, so I probably did 450 today for the IP. That's probably more like 500 if I had a dual-sided power meter. If I had 2 evenly balanced legs, well, if my left leg was as strong as my right leg, I'd do 550. An extra 10% power. Like, it's kind of crazy, but yeah. Don't think I have the resources to work on that, because nothing highlighted from the physios over the past few years. Like when I last went to the physio, there was nothing major that was causing it. Essentially iliac artery, but I know Scott McGill, he had the surgery and then his power balance came into alignment after being 46, 54 for however long. But yeah, keep training hard. Spin away. So 440 watts, 500 watts erg mode was 437. Wowza. Been working on trying to bring my left-right balance into alignment for well over a year. Thought it was an issue with nerve, but yeah, that's still pretty much as far as it gets off. Yeah, when I had the cork on the TT bike, I was getting some relatively close numbers, but for the VO2 max type of stuff, that's typically where it diverges the most. So maybe threshold it doesn't. Threshold it diverges a fair bit, I thought, but not as much as 5 minute max effort. But you know, physios didn't know what it was, so it's like, what more can I do? But yeah. I'm a psycho for doing a max effort after doing the IP earlier today. A bit of a pseudo simulation, but yeah, definitely some screws loose up here. Didn't dig as deep, obviously. Like, couldn't dig as deep. I mean, it was a controlled effort doing it in erg mode, but don't have the deathly cough. Around with the reach on the bike, potentially go to even shorter reach. So what I've done is I've flipped the poles around because it was essentially clamping here. So I had the poles as far back as possible. So flip the poles so that I can try and go even further back if I want to. But it has dropped the height of my hands at the front. The pads are going to be at the same place, but my hands would be lower. They're about 5 centimeters lower with the poles switched this way. So it might be the case that I put some spacers in there, but change the poles around, see what it looks like, and yeah, go from there. Now it looks and feels horrible, but there's the room for adjustment at least, because I'd probably have to hold it with the tips of my fingers like that, just to, because of the quite aggressive angle, and they're not actually being much height from them. But if I brought that back and then had more like forearm on the pad, I'm already on a pretty short reach. So I might be clipping my knees on my elbows, but play around with it. I don't have the Di2 wires to deal with. I can actually move this pole to the other side, and then I've got these brackets on the inside of the extensions rather than the outside, which is going to be better for placing the cups because they're not as far to the side, but then also a bit more aero because they're on the inside. That looks much better. That actually looks kind of sick, not gonna lie. It gives me that room to get my head even lower, because I guess the high hands position is great, but then if you get your hands a bit lower, you have that more room to sink into. Already having it as low as possible, it's like, okay, how could I get more aggressive? There's no room to remove spacers. From high hands to low hands, learn how to bury the head better. Relatively easy session today, just done some sprints, warming up. Gonna do 30 minutes of threshold, 30 minutes of heat at the end, and I'm actually gonna try something different. I'm gonna set erg mode to 370 watts for the 30-minute threshold effort, and have the power from the Asioma on my head unit, and try and see how close to 370 I can get from the left side. So prioritize pedaling a bit harder with the left leg. I spent a while trying to do kind of soft work to get the left leg a bit stronger, but there's no strength discrepancy in the gym. There's no like weird feelings that I get. Like, I'm getting this numbness that I got a year and a half ago, and multiple years before that when it was a proper issue with the nerve. Get a bit more aggressive with it, try and prioritize that left leg, and see if I can find some free power in that regard. So yeah, if that works well, keep going with that for as part of the training going forward, but worth experimenting with, I'd say. It's kind of like the opposite of what of what you're meant to do. I remember hearing, the issue with left-sided power meter is you'll push too hard with your left leg. I've never deliberately done that in training, and now I'm like, okay, maybe I should try that to try and bring the discrepancy into balance a bit better. That was a very interesting form of training. Kind of like a maximal effort with my left leg, and my right leg's just cruising. So I calibrated both power meters, 370 watts erg mode, 350 on the Asioma, really trying with my left leg throughout. And yeah, so my right leg producing 20 more watts, so 175 versus 195, and right leg just absolutely cruising, super smooth, left leg suffering like a dog. So yeah, I think that's an interesting form of training. Could do it for high torque sessions because I do those in erg mode already, and maybe bring down the intensity a little bit because I'll be working the left leg harder. But yeah, I think it's worth experimenting with to try and increase the strength of the left leg. Well, it's probably not strength, it's probably more like efficiency. Just being able to produce power throughout the pedal stroke, because when I'm in the gym doing I only do unilateral work, and the left leg is not weaker. So yeah, keep it up. Interesting stimulus unlocked. Day 2 of training for the 2027 British Cycling Individual Pursuit Championships. Coming up with some wacky, crazy ideas. I've been thinking about them the last few weeks, to be fair. Not this one just came to me today. There we go. Good sesh. Good team pursuit session at the track there. A little bit less busy post-nationals, so rather than getting 3 runs on track that we've been able to do for the past few weeks, we were able to get 4 runs done. But unfortunately we were man down. Tom was feeling a bit ill, so decided it was best for him to just rest up as we're booked in for a longer slot on Thursday where we should be able to get lots of track time, which would be really useful. So yeah, we just 3-man session, and I think we were all a bit tired. James and Jack were pretty tired, so we didn't have the best set of efforts. We weren't going as fast as we were expecting to and had been going in the previous weeks, but it was really good to just continue working together as a team, kind of figure out what sort of things we can do to mitigate if one of us is feeling a bit off, or learning how we work as a team, really. So yeah, we're still productive, and it's a nice chiller session for me. And yeah, can take my training a little bit more chill for the next few weeks. Got a couple of weeks of training, then going away for a few days, and then get back to it for starting the outdoor season.